You people are fucking insufferable.
You're pathetically predictable.
This here is the YouTuber EG Royall, a YouTuber and shorts creator who has a problem with how the Halo fans are reacting to the gameplay showcase for the recently revealed campaign Evolved. What an absolutely stupid name for a remake. Gosh. Now, he does go into about 23 things that fans are upset in this video, and it's told in a very sarcastic and judgy way, at least in my opinion. I wanted to go over the points that he said Halo fans are upset about, explain some of them, clear up some misconceptions, and to just show why these complaints are valid and how you shouldn't disregard them just because you want to stay positive.
Here are all the things people are upset about in the new Halo game. The AR has 32 rounds and not 60. The metal on the guns is too shiny. There's weapon bloom. There's sprint. You can look down your sights. You can even use the battle rifle. You can use the energy sword.
These first 7 points are about weapons, which I feel are pretty easy to explain, so I'll go through them really quick. The assault rifle having less ammo is not only worse for balancing, making it even more useless in CE, as many players throw that weapon away pretty early in the game. But why change the balancing if you want to remain faithful, which is something that devs have said in the past.
Whenever we make a change, the number one thing was to be true to the original game.
Weapon bloom and the guns aesthetics all contribute to the neutering of Halo CE's amazing art style, which I'll go into a little bit later. Halo CE was not designed with sprint and ADS in mind, so many parts of the game will inherently be unbalanced. Plus, imagine sprinting through these amazing vistas and awe-inspiring moments, and getting a skull to tweak it off is not a good fix. I don't want to accuse EG Royall of being a fake Halo fan, but considering how he's talked about it in one of his past shorts,
Splint doesn't belong in Halo. Splint ruins the pacing of the maps. Free for free ruined Halo with Splint. Shut the fuck up.
probably a newer Halo fan, probably around Halo 4 or Halo 5, because the Halo community has been very specific and very particular about why sprint doesn't work in Halo. And other content creators and even developers themselves have stated why sprinting within itself is not bad, but when you put sprinting in Halo, it's actually very bad. It can mess with the whole balancing of the game. So to say that sprinting is something unreasonable that fans shouldn't be upset with is just really unfair and ignorant. In case you didn't know, in Halo CE, the reason you couldn't use the energy swords from elites was because the minute they left their hands, they would self-destruct as a safety protocol. That's right, baby.
Buy my book!
I will give you a little slack with this point, as energy swords were confirmed to be cut content from the original game because of how difficult they would be to add due to technical limitations. And adding them to the game would not be the end of the world. I will stand by my stance, though, that adding guns like the fuel rod cannon and the sentinel laser could hurt the balancing of the game if not properly accounted for. And considering 343 or Halo Studios' reputation when it comes to balancing, I'm not very hopeful.
The Covenant somehow looks horrible, even though they always look the same. The plasma rifle is too skinny. Foehammer has a face now. There's a couple new voice lines. You can hijack vehicles now. There's a 4th seat on the Warthog. The tires of the Warthog look bad.
Points 8 through 14 are what I would call debatable issues that still have plenty of merit to them, but can be up to conversation. This is the Covenant in the original game, and this is the Covenant in the remake. If you look at the gameplay from the original Combat Evolved, and you compare it to Campaign Evolved, you can see how much more visual clarity there is in the original game. One of the major issues with the way 343, my bad. I meant to say Halo Studios designs characters is that they often overcomplicate the designs of the characters, and everything has way too much future shine. Just compare the Forerunner structures from the original games and compare them to Halo 4 and Halo 5. You can prefer one over the other, but the art design of the Covenant has changed throughout the years, and Halo fans have historically been against the new changes to the designs, and to say that there's no difference at all is just kinda dumb. Maybe you should do your research before you start making baseless claims in a YouTube short. I raise your question with another question. Why do people care about the changes to Foehammer and the plasma rifle? And I ask you, why did they change them at all if the changes were so minimal? I always dislike when people go, oh, well, why do you care about this change? It doesn't really matter. Okay, if it doesn't matter, then why did the change happen at all? You have to give a reason for why it was changed. You can't just say, oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's just a minor change, so who cares? I care. I care about intent. I care about what the developers want to do. And if you can't give me a reasonable answer for why they made that change, then yeah, people are going to complain about it. I didn't see him mentioning that in the video, but I also wanted to mention that dumbass DS screen they added to the Needler that shows you how much ammo you have when, oh, I don't know, the needlers on the gun tell you how much ammo there is. It's such a natural way to show ammo without breaking the immersion. But of course they just had to slap a dumbass screen on the gun. And I ask you, why are there new voice lines in a faithful remake? Metal Gear Solid Delta didn't need to do this. That game had all of the original voice actors. That game had all the original voice lines with the addition of a few tutorial lines that were new. And they sounded awful. So why are they re-recording? That isn't a positive, at least not in my opinion. Because the re-recorded audio is going to sound so vastly different in quality than the old one, because we're going to get a 2025 Master Chief voice in the same game with a 2000s era Master Chief voice. It's going to be super jarring. But like I've been saying, it's another addition into the game that wasn't in the original, which is giving people the idea that this game isn't a faithful remake. I'm also not super against it because I have heard that it is cut content from the original game, just like the energy sword. The co-op being 4 people, again, is not an awful idea, as I think as long as they balance it with the addition of 2 more player characters, then it could be fun. But I hope that there is an option for just 2 players. I refer to this tweet when we talk about the design of the tires. It's not just that the tires are different, it's that they're over-designed, and it leads to the change in art style of it being less of a simple and more colorful design that shows character into being more of an overcomplicated sci-fi mess. That isn't true to the Bungie art style.
The HUD looks bad, but you can also customize it, so I don't know why people are upset about that one. The shield regenerates too fast. Hunters don't die in one Magnum shot anymore. The Magnum has the same animations it had in the original. People are mad at this, but are also mad that this game isn't the same as the original. Just please make it make sense.
So these are kind of puzzling to me. The HUD is way too cluttered, and again is straying from the original's clean and open design. The radar is in the wrong spot, and the HUD has the classic modern gaming clutter. Just because you can change it in the settings doesn't mean that the base HUD isn't garbage. Shield regen is also a huge part of how the game is designed and how Combat Evolved designs encounters. If you don't think this is an issue, then obviously you haven't played CE on Legendary, because the armor regen being slow adds to the game's slower pace and more tactical gameplay. It's actually what makes Halo 1 different from Halo 2 and Halo 3. These last 2 points are a perfect time to bring up a tweet from one of the main developers of the original Halo CE games, Jaime Griesmeyer, I hope I pronounced his name right, who stated his opinions on several design changes shown off during the gameplay presentation. This is as close as you're going to get to the original designer or the artist of a piece of art telling you that your remake of their art is not very good. For example, there was a rock in the Silent Cartographer level that was right here, and this rock was put into the game purposefully to make it more difficult to kill the hunters in the level with your warthog. The designer even expected players to want to get past this rock and made it possible as long as you manipulated the physics in a specific way, rewarding creative players. To just remove this rock purposefully to make the level more bland, it is again another example about how the game will do everything within its power to change things rather than making it faithful. Games are an intricate web of design choices and philosophies, and to start making willy-nilly changes like this is disrespectful to the original game designers and the original vision of the game. But of course that only matters if you view video games as art. Don't you agree, EG Royall? Check out his Twitter, it's a goldmine of design thoughts on Halo, and I highly recommend it. Lastly, for the Magnum animation point, I just don't believe you when you say that. I have not seen any comments talk about the Magnum animation and saying that it was like the original, so it's bad. I don't know who you're talking about. In fact, the campaign evolved Magnum reload animation is closer to Halo 5 and Infinite than the original game, as shown here. Not sure where you got this point, but nice try. So I'm going to focus on point 19 and 23 to cap end this video. Firstly, to address the extra prequel missions with Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson, again, fans aren't mad because this new content could be cool, but because it's prequel missions that were never meant to be in the game. They're not even cut content, they're just completely new. And honestly, this can only be set during one point in the timeline, maybe two if you stretch it. That being when Sergeant Johnson and 3 Marines were being saved by Master Chief during the fall of Reach, or like 25 years ago before the events of Halo CE, when Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson were working together. But that's so far off, I don't even know how that could be considered a prequel mission. And also, why would this even be relevant to Halo CE? What would it actually add? Sergeant Johnson is barely a character in the original game. He was so unimportant in the original game that you could kill him like a nameless NPC. In fact, his character was actually supposed to be just a referent to Sergeant Apone from Aliens. The resemblance is truly uncanny.
How do I know which one to shoot? What?
This of course brings into question, are they going to make Sergeant Johnson a more present character in the story, adding lines to his character and making him an actual player in the story? Which honestly is just going to be super jarring, as it could lead to possible retconning so CE fits in with the later Halo games. For example, they could remove the line of the guilty spark mistaking Master Chief for a Forerunner, which was hinting at Bungie's original idea of having the humans being descended from the Forerunners, which was the intention of the games before Halo 4 changed that. Lastly, I just want to address the color of the AIs in the Halo universe, as their color denotes their emotional state, and also changing her color to blue to match the other games kind of removes a unique element from the original Halo CE, making everything just a little bit more boring and homogenized. I hope this video helped explain why Halo fans may have issues what was shown in the gameplay showcase. I know from an outsider perspective, it can seem that Halo fans are being whiny and entitled, but they have consistently shared their criticism with the games online. Video games are art, and we should respect their legacy as that art. A big problem with remakes is how they take the original and just do whatever they want with it, no regard for why people like the originals. Look at games like the RE3 remake, the Silent Hill 2 remake, and Warcraft 3 Reforged. They all took what made the original game special and unique and just stamp all over their legacy. If we are going to get more remakes, we should demand remakes that are faithful and that represent the originals in a way that is respectful, like with the recent Dead Space remakes and the Final Fantasy Tactics remake. No hate to you, man. I'm sure you're a nice enough guy. I don't know you personally, but next time try to do more research before you put down a fan base like that.
Yeah.